Hello, first grade. Mrs. Taima here. You are getting ready to start Module 1, Day 10 of your lesson from Wit and Wisdom. Miss Spears and I are going to co-teach this lesson together. She is going to ask you to get out Handout 11A and Assessment 11. We do not have those, and that's fine. Just make sure you have your notebook and a pencil. She's also going to say a word that I want you to say with me. I want to practice it before we hear it. And that word is knowledge. Everybody say knowledge. Good job. Knowledge means to know about something. So you know about it. You have that knowledge or that understanding in your head already. Okay? So whenever you hear that word knowledge, I want you to think about what that word means. All right, let's get started. Have fun.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Wit and Wisdom in Sync. Lesson by gathering your materials. For this lesson, you will need Handout 11A, Focusing Question Task 2 prompt, Assessment 11, your Wit and Wisdom in Sync journal, and a pencil. Pause the video if you need to gather your materials. Today we will continue to build knowledge about waiting for the Biblioburrow by reflecting on this question. How does the Biblioburrow change life for Anna? How does the Biblioburrow change life for Anna? Think for a minute. What do you remember about the book Waiting for the Biblioburrow? Now think about how it connects to how books change lives. Tell your learning partner. What do you remember about the book Waiting for the Biblioburrow and how it connects to how books change lives? Here's what I remember. Some people can't get books whenever they want. They have to wait for a library to come to them, just like Anna had to wait. I also learned that books are very important to many people and that libraries can move around. Did you learn some of the same things? I'm sure you did. Today we will read a new part of the book to build our knowledge, and as we work today, we'll be thinking about this content framing question. How does this text build my knowledge of how books change lives? One more time. How does this text build my knowledge of how books change lives? Okay, friends, let's get back into the book, but starting this time with the author's note.
All right, guys, I am back and I'm going to read the author's note to you. How far would you go for a book? How far would a librarian travel to bring you a book? Around the world, there are many librarians and libraries that travel long distances, just like the Biblioburrow. In Kenya, camel caravans deliver books to nomads in the desert. In Sweden, Stockholm's floating library delivers books to islanders on book boats. In Zimbabwe, there is a donkey-drawn mobile cart library. In the United States, bookmobiles started out as book wagons. This book was inspired by a particular librarian I was honored to get to know, Luis Soriano Bohorquez. Near La Gloria, Colombia, this teacher and librarian delivers books to children who live in remote villages with the help of his two donkeys, Alpha and Beto. Luis's Biblioboro program is an inspiration to us all. This book is a celebration of Luis and all the teachers and librarians who bring books to children everywhere, across deserts, fields, mountains, and water. We know the characters in this book live in a remote village. What do you think the word remote means?
Here's what I think. I think remote means far away or not close by other towns. Remote can also describe people or places that are far away. There are a few important connections between the text and the author's note, and I want you to play detective for a minute. I am going to reread the author's note, and then I'm going to reread a page from the text. And as I read, I want you to listen for more connections between the story and the author's note. Are you ready? Let's get back into the text. How far would you go for a book? How far would a librarian travel to bring a book to you? Around the world, there are many librarians and libraries that travel long distances, just like the Biblioboro. In Kenya, camel caravans deliver books to nomads in the desert. In Sweden, Stockholm's floating library delivers books to islanders on book boats. In Zimbabwe, there is a donkey-drawn mobile cart library. In the United States, bookmobiles started out as book wagons. This book was inspired by a particular librarian I was honored to get to know, Luis Soriano Bojorquez, near La Gloria, Colombia. This teacher and librarian delivers books to children who live in remote villages with the help of his two donkeys, Alpha and Beto. Luis's Biblioboro program is an inspiration to us all. Okay, now page 11. Who are you? Who are they? The children ask. The man says, I am a librarian, a bibliotecario, and these are my burros, Alpha and Beto. Welcome to the Biblioboro, my biblioteca. But senor, Anna says, I thought libraries were only in big cities and buildings. Not this one, says the librarian. This is a moving library. Then he spreads out his books and invites the children to join him under a tree. What information connects to or is the same as the story? So compare the author's note to the story. What information connects to or is the same as the story? Tell your learning partner. Here are some connections I found. I found the connection of libraries traveling and a librarian who delivers books to children. Did you make those same connections? I bet you did. Okay, friends, let's keep reading. As I reread sections of the text, you will listen for connections between the author's note and the story. And when you hear a connection, you're going to point to the correct image on the screen that matches what you hear. Remember to point gently. So, for example, if you hear a connection between the author's note and the story about libraries that travel, you will point to that image on the screen. And if you hear a connection about the librarian who is delivering books to children, you will point to that image. Are you ready? Listen carefully. One morning, Anna wakes up to the sounds of tack-a-tack, clip-clop, and a loud ya-ya. When Anna looks down the hill below her house, she sees a man with a sign that reads Biblioboro. With the man, there are two burros. What are they carrying? Libros, books. Anna runs down the hill to the man with a sign and the bureaus and the books. Other children run to him too, skipping down hills and stomping through the fields. Who are you? Who are they? The children ask. The man says, I am a librarian, a bibliotecario, and these are my burros, Alpha and Beta. Welcome to the Biblio Burro, my biblioteca. But Senor, Anna says, I thought libraries were only in big cities and buildings. Not this one, says the librarian. This is a moving library. Then he spreads out his books and invites the children to join him under a tree. Once upon a time, the librarian begins, sharing the story of an elephant who swings from a spider's web. He reads from books with beautiful pictures, then helps the little ones to learn their abecedario. He sings A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Finally, he says, now it's your turn. Pick out books, and in a few weeks, I will be back to collect them and bring you new ones. Me too, asks Anna, especially you, says the librarian with a smile. What connections do you hear in this story? Share with your learning partner, or if they're not available, just share aloud. What connections do you hear? Here are some connections that I made. On page 9, I heard libraries that travel, because this shows the Biblio Burro arriving in Anna's village. And on page 10, it says this is a moving library. And then on the next page, I saw the connection with the librarian who delivers books, because I read the librarian and Alpha and Beta read to the children. Now I want you to take a minute and think about our essential question, or our big question that we are building knowledge to answer.
Good job, first grade. You are at the end of part 1 for today for Wit and Wisdom. Now is a perfect time to get up, maybe go do some jumping jacks or do a go noodle, get some of your wiggles out, get a drink of water, use the restroom, whatever you need to do to get ready for part 2.